I think I'm gonna have to pat the chest. I'm gonna kind of come out and apologize for this notion of, we've been doing a lot of stuff on this recently, right? With the heel disconnection and what is the misconception between heel disconnection and premature heel disconnection? How long should my heel stay connected to the ground? And oh man, should I never leave the ground with my trail foot? And I understand. I apologize because I think I put a lot of stress on this, and I'm starting to see a lot of people tag me in their stuff, and it's tough because they're putting such a mental emphasis on that heel disconnection that what we're starting to see now is extremely late hip rotation. So remember, we're not trying to extremely delay the hips rotation, okay? The hips are actually gonna go into internal rotation fairly early. It's our trunk that we're delaying that rotation into that arm raise, into scap retraction. Once the hip then goes into internal rotation, that's where we create that authentic separation from the shoulders to the hips, right? So if we're putting such a mental emphasis on heel disc or heel pressure or connection into the ground, then what's that going to naturally do, right? It's going to naturally delay those hips going into rotation. So then we're not creating any separation from the shoulders to the hips. We see that the shoulders and the hips stay relatively in line because you're late with that hip internal rotation. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Remember, hip internal rotation is going to disconnect you from the ground. It's about having the movement capacity to be able to hold for as long as we can in the drive phase, creating that separation and creating that extension. But as soon as internal rotation needs to happen to create that authentic amount of separation, you're gonna see heel disconnection. Watch a guy like Scherzer, right? This is where I would get in a debate with a guy saying, oh, Scherzer's got premature heel disconnection. No, he doesn't. He accelerates into his drive phase, he stays grounded, and then when it's time for his hips to then internally rotate, he gets disconnected. Okay, then he just naturally rotates. Okay, we don't see a push. We see authentic movement capacity, so that internal rotation occurs naturally. Okay, you see that lead leg is going to land in a natural position, not cut himself off because he lacks that movement. So then he creates that optimal amount of separation, delaying the trunk, internal rotation of the trail leg, and then boom. Okay, fumble, 6-yard penalty, repeat, fifth down. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I just really want to clear that up. Yes, we need to stay grounded. We need to maximize our ground force production entering our drive phase, acceleration into drive phase. Okay, acceleration into front foot strike. But hip internal rotation, whatever the capacity that you have within your hips and the ability to internally rotate and externally rotate, is going to then dictate when your foot or heel is then disconnected from the ground. And remember, it's not a jump, okay? It's a natural occurrence of internal rotation, and then now we create that energy expressing linear from the ground. Internal rotation movement capacity is going to allow us to then express that linear. Down, linear, forward. That's why I put such a stress on movement, quality, mobility, progressions, internal rotation, right? Mine sucks right now because I've been sitting at a dang desk, but cool. Hopefully that makes sense. Love you guys.